Dixie added herself to the mix. You moved the ballot every time.
Well, what? How are you? How's it going?
I had to go by your place to do that. I get birth certificate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's that time yet again where we start our Thursday afternoon meeting of the Rotary Club of Tyler. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone. And if you haven't yet, please go ahead and set your cell phones on stun, not kill. You're welcome, John. I'm here to serve, okay? And as always, I want to thank our pianist for today, Miss Vicki Conway. Very nice job yet again. Always a pleasure to have you in here playing the piano. And this time, let's go ahead and bring up David Jones from the National Anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. David Jones, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
Thank you, Dave. It messed up my coffee drinking, y'all. All right, let's face the flag, shall we? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, strength and mercy by the dawn's early light, once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose first stripes and bright stars through the perilous light, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And please remain standing for our invocation.
Let us pray. O holy and eternal God, you give us food for the body and truth for the mind. So help us to live that we may be worthy of your love and care. For it is in your most holy name that we pray, and let all the people say, Amen. You may be seated. We're going to be introducing guests and visitors. Blake, you have a guest to introduce to us, do you not? Blake? Am I saying the wrong thing? Blake Bevel?
Blake Bevel.
Oh, did, okay. Well, maybe I had the wrong one. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's part of the hazing process.
Yeah, all right, Mark, sorry about that. We have Christy and Chris Hill, who are transferring members coming into our club. We're glad to have you here. Clinton?
Yeah.
I confused the two. I so apologize. You have a guest to introduce to us.
This is my
So
son, Lee.
handsome.
Yeah. He's going to really enjoy the fire truck today, so he had to come to you.
All right.
And then Sandy and Jean, I think, are in the wings, approaching membership with us. We're glad to have you here. Are there any other guests or visitors of guests that I have failed to mention that ought to be introduced? If not, President Bill, here you are.
Thank you, President-elect Allison. The best president-elect we've ever had. No kidding. Man works hard. It's been a joy to work with. Let me see here. Greetings for the day, Leah Ferguson and Pamela Walters. Thanks to both of you. Now it's time for that time, the best time, this week in history with Paul Weiss.
On the 23rd of September 1941, Deputy Camp Commandant Carl Fritsch experimented with the pesticide Zyklon B in gassing 600 Russian POWs at a POW camp. It was then a POW camp in Auschwitz, Poland. The experiment resulted in Zyklon B being used to kill as many as 5 million, mostly Jewish civilians in World War II. On the 24th of September 1789, the Judiciary Act was passed by Congress and signed into law the same day by President George Washington. The law gave formal enactment of Article 3 of the Constitution, establishing the Supreme Court of the United States. Congress initially authorized 6 justices, which Washington promptly appointed, and the Senate confirmed 2 days later. The court was expanded to 9 justices in 1869. It'll be 89 before long. On the 25th of September 1789, the next day, just 6 months after convening, the first United States Congress adopted 12 amendments to the Constitution, sent them to the states. 10 of them would become the Bill of Rights that we now understand. The first proposed amendment is not yet ratified and could theoretically result in the House having as many as 5,000 members. Can you just imagine? The 11th proposed amendment was finally ratified on May the 5th, 1992. When Michigan ratified it, it's now the 27th amendment, and it provides that any raise in pay that members of Congress vote for themselves cannot take effect until after the election of a new Congress. On the 26th of September, 1960, Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy met in the first ever televised presidential debate. Those that watched the debate, according to polling, thought that Kennedy won, but those that listened to the debate on the radio thought that Nixon won. On the 27th of September, 1964, The Tonight Show, hosted by Steve Allen, debuted on the NBC television network. The show is now the 3rd longest running show in TV history, behind NBC's Today Show and NBC's Meet the Press. On the 28th of September, 1920, 8 Chicago White Sox players were indicted for fixing the 1919 World Series. The most famous was shoeless Joe Jackson, who said nothing to a kid outside the courthouse when the kid said, "Say it ain't so, Joe." And on the 29th of September, 1982, a flight attendant named Paula Prince died suddenly in Chicago. She was the 6th such unexplained death. Investigators finally put together the fact that all 6 victims had purchased bottles of Tylenol extra strength capsules. And it was determined that the capsules inside the bottles had been intentionally laced with cyanide. The perpetrator was never found, but now we can't open pill bottles, ketchup bottles. We can't really open anything. Birthdays in the coming week, starting today. Bruce Springsteen turns 72. On Saturday, Michael Douglas turns 77. That same day, his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, turns 52. You do that math. On Saturday, Barbara Walters turns 92. And on Sunday, Olivia Newton-John turns 73. And that's this week in history.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. Quick word from Dr. D.M. Edwards about our Guatemala challenge. You want to say anything, D.M.?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to take just a moment, President Bill, to tell you about the challenge that we have before our club through our own Tyler Rotary Foundation. Recently, Dr. Ivan Marquin was here in our District 5830 to talk about the needs at their hospital in northern Guatemala. Dr. Nichols, I think it will be well aware of this situation. Dr. Marquin is the only ophthalmologist in northern Guatemala taking care of over 800,000 people. They have a women's hospital there that is where the mothers come that are having difficulty or challenges in their pregnancy, and the maternity ward is not air conditioned. Temperatures in the summertime reach as high as 110 degrees. Some of the plumbing in the hospital is broken, and the maternity ward in District 5830 has agreed to raise from all 44 clubs in our district a total of $50,000. The Longview Recton Club has already stepped up with $15,000 of the $50,000, and our board of directors voted at the monthly meeting last Friday to ask our club to raise a total of $5,000 or 10% of what the district needs. And so if you all would like to make a gift, just bring that to our club secretary anytime in the next couple of months. We hope to get that off by the 1st of January, end of December, so that they're ready for next summer at the hospital.
Thank you, D.M. Appreciate that. We're going to let April say a few words about vino for vets. She just stormed out of the room, you know? And Dixie wants to talk about pay to play. Now bring my money.
Well,
Bring it on up.
it's pay to play because you wouldn't put me on the agenda without it.
Whoa.
The ink's still wet, Dixie.
But it goes with her.
Did you just print this up?
I did. Okay, I'll make this real quick. Several of you guys were here when Therapet came out and explained what they do and so forth. Well, as you know, to do any kind of nonprofit work, it takes a lot of money. So we are having Therapet Totally Unleashed, October 23rd, and it's a gala. So we'll have, of course, good food. Going to have a live and silent auction, dancing to the Tuxedo Cats. Anyway, doggy dance, all kinds of things. But the deal is our fundraiser, our yearly fundraiser. And what is it, the Taste of Resistance or Taste of, what's the? Pièce de Resistance. Thank you, Paul. Paul will be our MC. So Paul Weiser will be our MC, so one and only. Anyway, I've got these, just, you know, if you just want to know about it, look at it, please, I'll set them up here. It's at Cascades on the tennis courts inside there. And the food is going to be by the Mundo, Montez Brothers. Yeah.
Taste of Resistance. Give me strength. Okay, April, you want to talk about vino for vets real quick? Stormed out of the room earlier.
Sorry, I'm choking on a rib and a firefighter. It's a true story. But anyway, okay, Vino for Vets coming up next weekend, Saturday here, October 2nd. This year I did it a little different. I'm kind of pushing table sales, so you can get a table for 10 for $500. That's $50 per person. Otherwise, the individual tickets are $65 per person. Holly had already sent out emails to everybody, and so far we had 2 tables full and 1 person in the 3rd table, so we need 9 more people. Hint, hint. 6 different wines, 6 different appetizers. I've got a live auction, a silent auction, and I need to go fishing. I'm stressed, so please come.
All right, thank you, April. Okay, got that. Okay, please RSVP to Holly, your volunteer hours, and please continue to RSVP to ensure your seat. Our program for next week is Deanna Hargrave from the Tyler Civic Theater. And now let's bring up Bill Croom to introduce our distinguished honored guest for this week. Bill Croom, thank you, John.
Thank you, Bill Pastor. You know, growing up in Dallas, there's really only 3 things I ever wanted to do for a living. It was being a military, be a police officer, or be a firefighter. Ended up in 1977 joining the Dallas Police Department when I was 21. One of the first days I was on the streets, I had to ride with this disgruntled homicide detective who had just got transferred. I mean, those guys wore the suits and all that. Some way he got in trouble, got in that car, and for 8 hours, back then you could smoke in the squad car.
Oh, dear.
He was telling me you shouldn't have hired on with the Dallas Police Department. You can't do anything anymore. They treat you bad. It's this, and this. He said, you should have been a firefighter. And I said, well, it's too late now. So anyway, ended up staying 31 years. But another one thing, back in those days, we had to wear hats. And as a rookie, you would go into fire stations and use the telephone. Anyway, the rookie dared not leave his cap laying around while he went to the restroom or something like that, because the Dallas firefighters would get your hat and put it in the freezer. And then you'd be looking around for it, and by the time you found it, it'd be frozen. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm going to introduce our guest today. It's Senior Captain Watson. He's been on about 22 years, I believe. Actually, I'm from the Grove in Dallas. He's from right next door. He's from Mesquite, Texas. So we have kind of a lot in common. We talk about cruising Butler and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, but Bill told me to tell you that after Captain Watson gives us a few words, be sure and take your blue ticket, because we're going to go out to the fire truck and have a look at it.
Yay.
So here is Senior Captain Watson, and he's from Fire Station number 2 over here on Old Bullard Road.
Well, I gotta admit to y'all, we were told we were just coming over to show the truck, and I just learned to walk, hey, you need to get up there and speak. Surprise, yes. And I hate speaking, so I'm just gonna tell you, bear with me. But we're with Tyler Fire Department, and we're from Station 2, right up here on Old Bullard and Rick Road. Many of y'all know that. This is our district. We respond to anything here. And I've been with Tyler for 20 years. Firefighter Bostock there, he's been with 22 years, and Brian McCauley, I forgot, was it 8 years? 8 years. And the only thing I know to tell you is we got the truck parked out here, and we're gonna go out there and y'all can see the truck, ask any question you want. I'm sure you've all got some kind of question about what our life is like every day at the fire department.
Well, tell us.
Basically, we live at the firehouse. I mean, one of the questions I get all the time when we're at the grocery store, they go, I can't believe y'all having to buy your groceries, or when do you get to go? Well, we live at the firehouse. We start at 7:30 this morning. We get off at 7:30 tomorrow morning. There's 3 shifts. We're here for 24 hours. We're off for 48, but we live we cook our meals, we wash our dishes, we mop the floors, we do the laundry, we live there, we sleep there, so we can be there. We're basically, I like to say, we're married to that truck. We can't get far from that truck. So if you pick up the phone, call 911, you want us there as fast as possible. So therefore, we're married to that truck at all times. So we sleep at the station, we can respond as quickly as possible. Yes, sir.
Where I live, the building code has been revised, and new residential construction requires the house to be sprinkled, have a sprinkler suppression system. Do you believe that the benefit of that is worth the cost, based on your experience with firefighter?
I would say yes. The normal response, here's another thing. When you have an emergency and you pick up the phone, you decide you're gonna call 911, time stands still. Everybody thinks, well, it took them forever to get there. The time you call 911, you call the dispatcher, pulls up the computer, they send it to us, we receive the call. We have a standard, we need to be there within 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. But by the time you have an emergency and the time we get there, I mean, it might be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you never know. That sprinkler system could be the difference between a small remodel or completely gutting your house. So I would say yes, that it's a benefit.
Pretty sincere about that.
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland, and where I came from, all of our EMS and firefighters are all volunteers. Are you all paid firefighters?
We're paid department.
Are there volunteer firefighters?
Not in the city of Tyler.
Okay.
Outside the city, your smaller communities, it's a matter of the financial burden. You're gonna have volunteers. And throughout the whole fire service around the nation, you have anywhere from volunteers to part-time paid, to full-time. Well, a city the size of Tyler, a metroplex, you want that service just like
Absolutely.
trash pickup, water,
Yep.
police and fire. And that's the benefit of a full-time paid department. So our response time is gonna be a lot faster than out in the rural areas.
And is that dependent on, like, the fact that Tyler firefighters are paid? Is it because of the size of Tyler, or just because the city decided to pay their firefighters, or, I mean,
The city decided it's a big enough tax base for
Yes.
full-time.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad you said that, 'cause I didn't have a good answer. All I tell you, Tyler Fire Department has been in existence since 19, and Mr. Gleiser may know more than me about that, but I'm talking like 19 odd something. Now, when it was a full-time paid department, I can't remember, but that's a good explanation. You got the tax base of this type of city, they can afford that luxury or that benefit.
Right.
How much time you spend in our physical fitness?
Not as much as I should. Now I can tell I'm getting as beat red as can be. Every fire station we have a workout facility. Now it's up to the guys. Some guys are gonna be more active in it, some are less. I'm not as active in the gym as I used to be, but they dedicate at least 1 hour a day that we're supposed to dedicate to physical fitness. Yes, ma'am?
Does that fire station have an ambulance, an EMT component?
Good question. In Tyler has the other luxury of it was formerly called ETMC, which, I mean, they're based right here in Tyler. And ETMC runs their own ambulance service, which is now UT Health. So Tyler Fire Department, we do not house the ambulances in our department, in our stations. And we're what's called first responder. If you call 911 for a medical emergency, and you start telling the dispatcher's going to ask you questions, they're going to send us. If it's and we're called first responder. We're gonna respond with the ambulance. And 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be there at least 5 minutes before they get there, because there's 10 fire stations in Tyler. There's, what would you say, maybe 4 ambulances staged in various areas around Tyler at any given time. So we're gonna have a quicker response time. So we're gonna, I was telling somebody a while ago, our motto of things, we keep you breathing and stop the bleeding until the paramedic gets there.
I can testify that you call the police, y'all are gonna be there first.
Yeah.
Generally, and we get a lot of times people, we respond to a medical call, and the first thing they say is, well, I didn't call for a fire truck. Well, thank God we're here, because it might be 10 minutes before that ambulance gets here. We can maybe stave off, we can do CPR. We even have AEDs. Like I said, we just keep you going until the advanced paramedic gets there.
What kind of training do you have to become a certified firefighter?
The answer to that, it varies from city to city. In Tyler, and the majority of most paid departments around the nation, they're going to require you to go put yourself through a fire academy first. But requirements, again, it can vary from city to city. Some of them, it can be just a high school diploma and be 21 years of age and come take. It's a civil service test. It's open to anybody. And you just take the test, and then according to how many we're going to hire that year, they go down the list according to your score. But as far as prerequisite, it's usually just an age.
Do y'all have to do something annually, like yearly, to
We have
recertify, you know what I mean?
We have constant training hours that we have to maintain monthly to maintain your certification.
So on an average day, average 24-hour period, how many times do y'all get called out for EMT, for paramedic call, EMT calls, or fire? What's an average daily call volume that you have to go out?
Again, that would vary from different parts of the city, different stations. Our station,
You guys are calling all the time.
yeah, we probably average, I'd say an average of 15 calls a day. The city of Tyler, the run total for the total is, every year it just keeps going up and up and up. I think last year we were over 15,000 calls.
15 for you, so, and that's from 7:30 in the morning until 7:30 the following morning, so you may or may not get sleep.
Correct. Yeah.
I'd like to know how many gallons for the mile that truck gets.
I would safely say about 2 miles a gallon. It sucks the fuel.
Are all the stations in top, do all 10 stations have ladder trucks, or is it just a few of them have the ladder trucks?
In the city of Tyler Fire Department, we have 2 ladder trucks.
Don't you guys have one?
And this, basically the city right at Amherst, you divide it in half with the North District, South District.
Okay.
Station 2, where we're at, and Station 1 houses the ladder trucks. And all the other stations, we call them satellite stations, will have one piece of equipment, an engine. At our station, we have a multi-company. We have the ladder truck, which is what we are, and an engine right beside it.
How about we go outside, look at the truck,
Yep.
and that way, if anybody has any questions, you can talk to the captain or one of the other firefighters. Would that be all right, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you take your Ace of Diamonds ticket with you. Hopefully, barring any failures, or you guys are in service right now, I trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're out of service, but if we get a fire, that's why I keep listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have to call.
Okay. Yeah, we're coming back in here. Plan B, if these guys have got to go. Well, let's go out and look at the truck. Maybe they'll open up the water cannon on, let's say, Dixie.
Or Lamb?
Thank you, Captain. You bet.
All right, guys,
I'm
let's
gonna
head on
try it.
out that way.
Okay, we're gonna see if I can
Been a lot
take
of
this
fun.
out there. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Do
We'll
what?
see. We'll see if this is gonna work if I can.
You weren't filming me, were you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, it's okay. We do it every week. No, because we have members that are immunocompromised that can't come to meetings, and so we just started doing that, and it's a makeup for people. So if it's a program they really wanted to see, they can go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. So we'll see how this goes out there. I don't know. This is the first time I've had to do a walkout. I've not had to do this outside, so we'll see how this goes. Liam's gonna be on that truck in a heartbeat. Did you guys ever get some of the volunteer kids coming through that are going to other fire departments at your station?
They'll come visit every once in a while.
Okay.
As part of their class. Just
Gotcha.
To,
No, a friend of,
example.
well, one of the kids
As an
that,
organized group through the fire academy.
yeah,
they'll come out.
because Caleb Clements is one of my kids' friends that they went to high school with, and
Yeah.
okay, and he was in Bullard, but I'm not sure where Caleb is now.
Right.
So he's not 21, so I'm sure he can't be certified as a firefighter.
Oh, you can at 18.
Oh, at 18 you can? Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm up today. Figured we could take advantage of it.
Liam, do you want to go stand next to the fire truck and I'll get a picture of you? Let me get a picture. He'll be on the video, Daddy.
All right, that's fine.
Woo!
Smile. Chin up.
There you go. Okay, go walk around and look at the stuff. Maybe they'll let you sit in it. That's what they did for Tom and Hannah.
Oh, really?
We went to Station 9. We did a mom's club thing, and we went over to Station 9. But these guys are rolling all the time. I see them
Oh, yeah.
out all the time. Just kidding, everybody.
Go. You can do it. You can't get up there.
It's hard to be under tall. There he is. All right, Liam.
I'm going to take a picture.
Woo!